We are losing each day an average 50 to 60 people throughout the country, if not more. If this is not civil war, then God knows what civil war is. Iyadawali. The Civil War was a brutal war with the different parts of a nation exhuming problems like slavery that were ignored for the attempted prevention of war. The medical tools used by doctors in the Civil War were the best and most advanced for their time. Medicinal tools such as microscopes and double-bladed lancets shaped war medicine and medicine in general for future years to come.
Life within a Confederate hospital was a harrowing experience for most patients. Thousands of soldiers suffered from a variety of disfiguring injuries, many of which made it difficult or impossible to lead an otherwise normal life. Their first introduction to hospital life began when they were carried from the field on stretchers and taken to small forward aid stations. There, assistant surgeons provided first aid to the wounded and routed cases onto field hospitals, which were temporary hospitals set up in tents or buildings behind the lines. The primary function of the field hospital was to receive wounded from the field, stabilize their condition, perform necessary amputations, and then evacuate them to general hospitals where they were treated and, if they didn't die, either discharged or returned to the Army. The majority of soldiers arriving at field hospitals had wounds to their extremities. When bone damage was severe, amputation was the prescribed method of preventing a life-threatening infection, gangrene, or death.
75% of the wounds that soldiers received were to their extremities, either to their arms or to their legs. And 76% of the wounds were caused by the mini ball, this conical-shaped bullet of soft lead. And what tended to happen is when the mini ball struck, if it struck bone, it didn't just fracture the bone as a musket ball might have done. It shattered the bone. It drove bone fragments into the surrounding area. And in addition to this, because this bullet is of soft lead, it would mushroom out. It would form a much larger hole.
Doctors did not usually set aside the tools separately. They usually had them in a kit that contained items such as scalpels, knives, double-bladed lancets, bistouries, stethoscopes, curettes, gauze, and chloroform. These are the most common tools in the medical kit, even though there were just as popular items like the bone saw that were almost always too big to fit in the kit, and microscopes that were too expensive. Even with their advanced technology and equipment, they were still not aware of the existence of contagious germs. They used unsterilized equipment. All of these tools had different functions, but most of these functions were for amputation. Amputation was the go-to for doctors to use in the Civil War, especially if they felt the patient was in immediate danger of death, disease, and/or infection. The Civil War used some of the most advanced tools of its time, but they also advanced their already exceptional equipment. Microscopes especially were advanced by engineers and doctors working together. Different equipment was improved for accuracy and efficiency. The advancements made in the medical industry during the Civil War revolutionized the way we deal with all medical afflictions and has affected us greatly.